Okay, so for my scenario, I've got two Docker images. I've got this registry version 2 and registry version 3 alpha 1. Now, if I'd like to know what's different about these two particular images, well, one way I could do that would be to take a look at the image, inspect it. I could do registry and then version 2. And then after that, I could do version 3. And then the first thing that comes to my mind is, could I run a diff of the output of both of those commands? And so to do that, a while ago, I set up a little helper here. This expands if I do diff last two commands. If I type that out, which is a convention that I use, that expands into a new command. It'll run the icdiff command. In fact, let's just run this first. Let me zoom out a little bit here so you can see this. And so now I've got the diff of the output of the two commands. And so if I scroll back up to the top here, you can see I specify the label. This is 2 commands ago. So that's inspecting and getting version 2. And then the second label for the right side is going to be for version 3. You can even see that shows up here. That's the label. That's what that argument is, just to show me which command was run for each side. And then after that, I've got process substitution set up to run the command, grab the output, and pipe it in as the first file that'll be passed to icdiff. And then at the end here, you can see the second process substitution. This runs for version 3 and pipes that output in as the second argument or second file to the icdiff command. So this is definitely one way to do this, though. If I wanted to go back and make a change of what I'm doing a difference on, it'd be hard because I'd need to modify several spots inside of this command. For example, if I want to change to tag maybe version 4, if that existed, I'd have to modify right here and right here. And so that becomes a hassle. So instead of doing that, over in my fish shell here, when I ported that implementation of the diff last two commands to fish, I set it up a little bit different. So let me do this real quick. So there's the first command. I'll have to run that again. And then the second command, run that one too. And so now in the case of fish shell, when I do the diff underscore last two commands, when I hit a space here, this will expand into a different command. So this is a function that I've set up here called diff 2 commands. It'll take in the 2 commands here. Here's the left side, version 2, and then here's the right side for version 3. So of course, when I run that, and I'll zoom out a little bit here, there is the diff. And of course, now if I want to change the commands that I'm comparing, I can just up arrow and I can make a change to the command. And of course, this won't work, but you'll see the output is then broken. At least there's nothing on the right-hand side. So I can modify the command without needing to run both of the commands again and then running my little helper to expand that into my diff command. And if you're interested in the implementation for this, if you hop out to my .files repo, here, for example, is the implementation for diff last two commands. Basically, this wires into a function that expands into the diff 2 commands call. And then that diff 2 commands is down here, and you can see the icdiff that's nested inside.